So you might play some more receivers on Saturday?
You know, we're going to, over the last couple of weeks, I told you I wasn't excited about the growth of the younger ones, but I think they've kind of taken it to heart. And, throughout last week, that was kind of a motivational tool, and so far at the beginning of this week, Sunday's practice and today's practice, those guys have kind of stepped it up a little bit, and yeah, hopefully get them in. It's no different than anything else. You want to play them, but they've got to earn the right before they step out on the football field. And I think, hearing it from me coming out last week that they needed to step up a little bit more, I think they've understood that, and now they're pressing a little bit and contributing.
Who are the guys that we should expect to see?
I think those three that kind of starting to come up a little bit are Rock, Kenny Knight, and Justin Hardy. So if they continue to have a good week's worth of practice, you'd like to be able to say, I want to play 6. Obviously we want to make sure everybody's prepared. We always talk about, in my room, we always tell the players to make sure, you're fully prepared when you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to get taken care of in the receiver position.
When you watched the film, what did you like? What do you guys need to improve upon?
Overall, we just got to be a little bit more consistent. We got to eliminate the errors. We put ourselves in some bad situations in 3rd and long, and we want to try to eliminate that. If we can keep it when it's 3rd and short, we feel pretty good. We've got our guys. We've got some athletes that we feel that we can get the ball to, but we've got to eliminate penalties. We've got to eliminate the stupid mistakes. And if we can do that and play mistake-free football, if that hasn't changed, then we'll be successful. Today at practice, it was a little warm out there today, and at the end of practice, a couple guys made some errors, and those errors have nothing to do with being that they can't get it done. A drop ball here or there, whatever it may be. We had a conversation about it. It's all about your fundamentals. When you're tired, that's the chance when you can get better, because now you gotta rely on something. You rely on your fundamentals that you practice every day. You've got to do the little things and pay attention to the details. And so that's one of the things we're focusing on right now.
What, in your mind, what separates a really good receiver from the run of the ball?
I think you can develop wide receivers in any position. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the strongest. I think first and foremost, you've got to have great will. Obviously, you'd like to have some quickness in hands and toughness. But for us, we've got a set of group of receivers. None of them are alike. They're all a little different, and I welcome that fact. So. Some are going to have a little bit better hands than others. Some are a little bit quicker. Some are taller. What you've got to do is try to play to their strengths and then coach their weaknesses up to develop that into trying to get an all-around receiver.
It seems like sometimes the receivers have the ability to get the quarterback to throw to them more than others. I mean, is this a kind of a will thing? Certainly Jenkins was that case last year.
Well, I think last year you got a first-round draft choice, and no different than what we did with Percy Harvin when we coached him, or some of these other guys that I've been fortunate enough to coach, that when you've got special players, you always try to get the ball as many times in their hand as possible. You take a look around the country, that's not going to change, whether it's an I formation, spread formation. The players that have that opportunity to get the ball in their hands, and we try to do that. Based on what the defense gives you, but ultimately we want to try to get the ball into our playmakers' hands, and we got to do a better job of that as a coaching staff. But that's when you'll see those guys kind of stand out a little bit. But for us, we got to continue to develop it, and we'd like to say we've got 4, 5, 6 of those guys on our football team, and continue developing that. You got one rock and one pill to distribute when you're out there on the football field. We always say you earn it. You earn that right to touch that rock, and so we got to continue. We got to continue to keep pressing that, and once our players understand that, we'll be fine.
How'd the running backs, tight ends do when they were split out?
I thought they did a pretty good job. I told you we were going to move John Davis around a little bit, and you guys saw we put him in the backfield for the first game, and he did some phenomenal things for us. Big back, he's 240, 250 guy carrying the rock, and that adds another dimension to your game where you've got a couple quick guys, and not to say they're not strong, because I think Josh and DY are extremely strong, but you just got a bigger guy that's, it's hard to tackle a bigger guy at times. So it gives you a nice change-up. They did well when we split them out, and again, we'll do the same thing this week if we can. It depends on what we're doing. We're not dumb. We're not going to be dumb and say, hey, this guy's got to play here. We've got to, it's a chess game. We've got to put our best chess pieces or checker pieces on the board so we can get those matchups. And if it involves putting a couple fast guys out there to try to isolate on a linebacker, if it's a couple of big guys out there to try to block the perimeter, that's what we're going to try to get done. So,
if Riley or Miles has to go, what do your receivers need to do to help them out?
just play football, play the best of their ability. We talk about it day in and day out. You know, when you step on the football field, do your job. Be the best at what you do. Every time you get out there, I always tell my players the same thing. You got the name on the back of your jersey. They can take away a lot, but they can't take away your name. What do you stand for? What's your brand? What are you going to be remembered as? What do you want people to say? I tell them all the time, I want you to be an overachiever. If we've got 11 overachievers on that football field at one time, we're going to be damn good.